All right, I feel like I don't get to see this matchup enough. Not only the saves, but the players as well. Welcome back, folks, to the 1v1s. It's going to be Kasva versus Kapoch, and they are going to be playing Abbasid, Dynasty, and HRE, respectively, on Boulder Bay. Oh, this is going to be fun to watch. So, of course, as we've seen time and time again, these two civs love to eco-boom wherever they can. It's going to be fun to see which of them tries that, which one kind of actually goes a little bit more aggressive. I think the interesting part actually is going to be around the kind of the C play. I think that might decide a lot of this game. And then if someone baits themselves hard onto the C and then someone goes for a land army. I would love to actually see Boulder Bay end that way for once, instead of just like, I tried to be on the C, I lost the C, then I built a land army, which is usually how it goes. But opening-wise, Doc already going to be constructed for Kasva, moving out. Delay in comparison from Kapoch. Kapoch did not immediately send out a villager, so he is going to be later onto the water. We'll see how that actually affects his gathering rates in the early game. Kapoch, I'm trying to think, did they start with the same wood? I think both of these civs did start with the same wood, yes. Or Abbasids. Sorry, Abbasids get that extra 50, don't they? Which should, yeah, that should explain the edge, right? Because remember, when you're playing the Abbasids, you get extra resources courtesy of needing to build your House of Wisdom, so you get given extra wood. And that's why he goes out onto the water a little bit quicker than his opponent. And already has surplus to actually start producing into the ships straight away. In fact, if he keeps this up, he might quickly reach a point where he can sustain 2 docks. I think he will be able to sustain 2 docks quicker than his opponent. Because once he has like 2 fishing boats out, that's going to be not only the villagers funneling out that are going onto wood, but he'll probably move 2 more across. He does have to be careful to balance the gold situation, right? Because that's something to keep in mind here, is like, Kapoch could very, very, very quickly boost himself into that Castle Age timing off the back of the Prelate buffing onto the gold line. The gold line which hasn't been constructed yet. Interesting choice. We've seen the 2 different type openers, right? Usually when there's a water map, we get this kind of opener where you don't even put a person on gold yet. He'll do it now, but it's more delayed. When we're talking land ones, by now there's already 2, maybe 3 people in the gold vein. And then maybe you run your Prelate over. So you can see how these priorities switch out when you're talking about the possibility of fishing, right? People don't like how strong like naval is right now. I kind of get where they're coming from to an extent. I think it's way too like predicated around tech ups, right? To actually be relevant. Like if you get beaten on the water in one moment, then you need to tech up to then beat your opponent back quite often. And that is kind of wonky, but I at least like the way that it changes openers for games. Instead of someone just perfecting one opener, they have to think about the layout of the generation. They have to think about, is there water? Do I want to be on the water? Do I need to deny my opponent on the water, right? It's not just the civ matchups that dictate your openers. It's also the maps themselves, which is at least refreshing to see. So similar distance on the deep water fish, and instantly a transport ship. Wow. Kasva. Yo. This is such a different opener, Kasva. So he's moving out with the transport ship and the fishing boats. And wait. What? He deleted his dock. Why though? Like, I mean, I think I know why, right? He wants to put a dock over here, but, like, on the grand scheme, why? In this match, like, this is going to put you behind, right? There's no way this doesn't put you behind. I think maybe he was hoping his opponent wouldn't be able to see the rubble. I'm not sure he did. Like, the ruins stay there, right? This is an important detail. If the ruins stay there and you see it, then Kapoch now knows how ahead he is, right? Because that was the only thing I could think is Kasva was trying to sneak a fishing economy that never gets scouted and attacked, right? So the whole concept being that Kasva, like, will play hard onto the land and Kapoch will go hunting from the water and never find him, right? But because he sees this detail, I do think that Kapoch is going to hunt him. And he should know where he is, right? He sees a dock that's been destroyed. And if you see that, surely you're like, okay, my opponent's got to be around here. Like I said, this could be an observer bug, though. It could be that he didn't see this at all. It could be that the rubble went away in time. If the rubble went away in time, then Kapoch has 0 idea that this has occurred. And it means that he will invest military units onto the water, units that Kasva never will. We'll just have to see if that's the case. Kapoch, honestly, I feel like when he does this, he already saw it. That's what I'm thinking. If he already saw it, it makes sense that he's dropping palisade walls, because then he understands that his opponent is going to be on the land quicker than he is, right? So he just wants to wall himself in and buy time, because of course he is playing HRE. What on earth? I need to get someone else to assist me to test this, but like I said, I'm pretty sure that you see the rubble still. It could just be an observer bug. If someone knows for sure, let me know. It's a hard one to like measure because like this is an example where someone else deleted it, right? It's not a situation where, oh, my enemy burnt it, so obviously they see the rubble. He chose to delete this. This is such a wacky change, though. Let's see if it works out. So Kapoch makes the tech up first. Quite easy with the Arcane Chapel just being boosted up so quickly. And I think it's almost complete. No, only now beginning for Kasva. Makes sense, right? He got delayed because he moved his fishing vessels all the way out like this. He needs to re-waypoint them. So there's an issue right now where the way that fishing boats tend to work is that the dock that they waypoint out of, they will try and return to. So they're taking this deep water fish and it's taking them longer to drop off than it should. I don't know. I don't even know if I like this play from like a wider perspective of hiding your economy, just because there's not that many fishing points here either, right? I don't know if he was expecting a lot of deep water fish near this island. This feels like the type of play maybe you make after you scout, but not without scouted info. We'll see if it pays off, though. It is a very interesting idea. I don't know if he was worried that he'd be outmatched in the water as well. Like, I think I would give the edge to the galley ships compared to Dhows, right? Like, they're the same cost. Well, sorry, mostly the same cost. The gold is, like, obviously more, but, like, the wood is comparative. The gold is more. But as an HRE player, especially, you don't care about that, right? Because you can afford the extra gold. You have the better income early on. And that means, like, galleys actually outdo the Dhows. So maybe like he just identified early on he was not going to win this. And also if you can't, and this is the other issue, I think this is why Kasva done this. The reason he tries to hide his economy so hard is he's up against an HRE player. An HRE player that it's very hard to force someone off the map, off the sea completely with your opening like phase, right, with a feudal age. Usually you're looking at castle. And if you're playing Abysses against HRE, it's almost just a write-off if you're trying to beat your opponent to Castle Age. You're just not going to do it, right? You're always going to get beaten by the HRE player, which means that he should be able to field Hulks before you. So this whole concept of what Kasva's doing is he's trying to completely hide his economy. And you can see, look at the scouting right now. Kapoch is blind to this. He isn't looking over here. He doesn't expect this. And why would he? We've never seen a single player do this. And yeah, he'll just pause in his thoughts right now. He's like, okay, so what? Where? Where he be? So fuel age gets reached. Kapoch just might, like, right now he's like, there's no way. There's absolutely no way. Like, Kasva is a very talented player. There's no way that he has forsaken water entirely. He should have an initial expansion. He should have a few ships. But no. And I wonder if Kasva, like, this is the kind of the crazy part. Kasva in some ways has oversold this, right? I think if he kept the dock up and put out like 3 or 4 shipping vessels, fish ships rather, he like convinces his opponent like, oh, so he knew I was going to beat him, so he just didn't hard invest onto the water, but he was on the water. This feels like it should tip Kapoch off as to what's really happened here, but he's not looking. And this is kind of crazy, right? Because the other like ripple-on effect of this, it means that Kasva, he can build up a military force now. The Dhow archer ships in the fog, right? In the stealth sea. His opponent will never see him. He'll reach a critical mass, and then he can push across and punish his opponent. And look at this as well. Because his opponent doesn't think he has any docks, any presence at all on the water, he sneaks in a village around the back after his opponent puts up palisade walls. And he could easily, there it is, a trip Rax drop. But a trip Rax drop that might get spotted really soon. And this is the worrisome part. Because he didn't bring a scout as well, he actually might get spotted doing this. So Renix Cathedral now being built. Kasva, start the timer, because you are definitely on the clock. This Rax will definitely not get spotted. And he's changed, yeah, nice. I like that he changes the positioning, right? Sees the tree line, says, okay, wrap around here. So 3 Rax going down, and this is a full sneak. Oh my god, Kasva, he is a snake right now. And he's looking to bite, and he bites straight into the fishing line. He reveals his hand. And with 4 of the Dhows here, he'll be able to snipe out so many of these ships. And the second dock is so far away. And this is a painful state to be in, right? I love the identification. Kasva understands HRE player, going to be teching up by 10 minutes, right? At 10 minutes, he's going to invest so much into that tech up that he's not going to have surplus, which means he's going to force him into an uncomfortable situation where he has to find new economy because his vessels have been sunk, right? He's not going to be able to gather on the water for a bit. The Dows outnumber the galley, and if the galley has to run away, once again, Kasva has the edge because the galleys cannot fire when they're retreating. And Kapoch right now, there's just so many question marks for him. Where? How? Why? And Kasva, third rack's almost complete. And he gets scouted out. Yep, it was seen. Kapoch now knows he's here as he's picking up that one relic. Forces more galleys to be committed to. Very costly. Transport ship just trying to distract. Not really doing a good job of it. But you see that he's like, okay, you've got home field, you've got galleys. I'm going to lose this. I'm just going to take the fleet. Sinks all the fishing boats. That's all he cares about. And all of a sudden, Kapoch is a very thirsty boy. Very hungry, right? Because the food doesn't look good. And no military infrastructure. And now Kasva can make the switch. You can see he's going for the tech up, right? He's not going to buy into the spearman. Screw that, not worth it. He's waiting for the man-at-arms. And the Rax is already being dropped now by Kapoch. It's a tight hole to try and thread through, right? It's a tight needle thread. But if he can do this, he will completely kill off Kapoch before he can actually start getting off the ground. Of course, as we see, Dow ships much quicker than galleys able to move away. And his economy is still healthy, right? This food eco is going to last long enough that he's going to be able to get 10, 15, maybe 20 man-at-arms before he starts to feel a dent if he gets sniped now. And Kapoch, after he deals with his Dow, he still has to answer the questions of where he's at. And right now, where Kasva's at is on the fishing line again with the Dows. Because they're so fast. 1.88 tiles. They move quicker than the fishing boats. They move vastly quicker than the galleys at 1.38. Just biding his time still, though. Tech up almost done. 40 seconds until we see the Congo line of man-at-arms. He has stopped at 4 racks. He could make it 5. He's got wood surplus right now. And how are the relics looking? So far, only one banked for Kapoch. Kapoch returning the second one now. He's still very fragile. And look at the move in the early man-at-arms. Or normal man-at-arms now, right? Because he's been in castle a while. But the early move to get man-at-arms out here, just trying to raid, means the stone walls have to be built. And Kasva, he should be quick enough for this. Just ensuring that he can't be shut out of the game before his opponent is, because his opponent is in for a rude awakening here. Culture Wing now complete. Kasva should be an immediate queue up in the barracks. Waypoints them all. Production hasn't started just yet. And he didn't complete the stone walls. No, he's opted for a more defensive choice. He understands that he'd have to wall on the north side as well. So instead he's going to do it this way. We'll get the stone walls up in time. There is going to be no way for Kapoch to breach Kasva's base. But he has revealed the racks. The racks, 4 of them now producing. The problem is there's now 3 for Kapoch on his home field. Kasva. Well, I think he's been revealed too soon. This is too soon. He wasn't ready for this. He needed to buy another minute before being revealed. But that pesky goddamn prelate running past with the relic reveals what he's doing. And now, these man-at-arms, remember, they are on even footing with each other. But the number advantage is already there for Kapoch. He is still outnumbered with the racks count by 1. Will it be a difference maker here, though? Remember, he sent these early man-at-arms over to try and raid Kasva's base. If he just counted what was happening on his own, he could be comfortable. Instead, now he's going to feel a little bit on the ropes. 6 man-at-arms versus the 7. He still has the advantage here. And he should be getting the tech, right? Yeah. So he's taking them up. He has gone for... Wait, did he get one? Yeah, he got the maces. So he has the edge here. An interesting play that is going to backfire very quickly for Kasva as Kapoch holds him back. Kasva with the gambit play. It's not paying off, though. And now the galleys will snipe out your economy as well, and that's where it's just going to be the deal breaker, right? Once this has been found, Kapoch is now like, oh, you sneaky goose. It's just not going to be good enough, I don't think. I think Kasva, while it's a cute idea, it's just too little too late. Maybe if he kept spamming racks quicker than this, if he had 6, I could see it working, because there's no way Kapoch would have been able to build the infrastructure quick enough. But you can just see the numbers are there, right? Kapoch 12 compared to Kasva's 11. picking them off one by one. And yeah, I believe he even has, yeah, he has both researches, right? Yeah. He went for the, yeah, he's already got it. He's got the two-handed as well. Wait, no, he hasn't. Wait, is it being researched? It's not here, so it's being queued up somewhere. Maybe he has another racks. Regardless, he doesn't even need it. He's already just beaten him out. Kaz has lost one of the racks already. And this should just be the point where he realizes he's beaten. A nice idea, a cool strategy. I love to see such a unique opener. And with some refinement, I can see the potential behind it. But Kasva, maybe the big mistake here was just not continue to build racks. I don't think he realized he got spotted out by the Prelate. If he wasn't spotted by the Prelate, there's no infrastructure here in time. There's a raid-in. You hit the villagers hard, and you potentially win the game. But that doesn't happen. The eyes were on the prize. Kapoch spots you with your shenanigans and shuts it down before it can end the game in favor of the Abbasids. And Kasva will be eliminated. Kapoch takes the game. What a way, though. What a way to try and play it. I respect it, Kasva. Definitely keep innovating, keep experimenting, because these type of cheeky little strats is what AoE4 is all about.